Hey guys, I recently reread this book. It's called Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. And at first, when I read it in 2022, if I remember well, I didn't get much the point of the book itself, but I thought it was fun and it held a meaning that I didn't understand at that time. But after rereading it, I was inspired by this character who is called Siddhartha, and I found a fascinating thing about how he approached life. And one of the things that I learned from this character is the importance of fasting. It's pretty much about having a certain form of discipline and control over your desires and things that basically control your body naturally, which include food. We need food to survive as human beings, and hunger can make us do things that maybe cannot be well accepted in the society, morally speaking and ethically speaking. And I thought I should try to do a fasting video, and at the end, I'll try to reflect on the effects of the period of fasting itself. So I'm trying to fast for 7 days. I think it will be pretty much a hard thing to do. And yeah, I'm excited to see the kind of clarity that I will get through fasting, because historically speaking, there were these great figures in history who fasted, including Jesus and the Buddha, to name a few, and they gained a lot of clarity about the world through fasting. So I'm excited to see the kind of wisdom I might get, or the kind of reflection I'm going to do at the end of the video and even during the procedure itself. So I was thinking of maybe withdrawing all the money I have in my phone and giving it to a friend and instructing them not to give me the money until the 7 days are over. But I thought that it would undermine the utility of the procedure itself. So I want to see if I'm disciplined enough to pull this off. It is a test of character, I guess. So yeah, let's see how this will turn out. See you maybe tomorrow for an update. I forgot to mention that I'm currently at a job, and this job requires interaction with other human beings. And I, I, I know from other authors that a lack of food can impair our cognitive functions. So maybe I'm excited is not the word, but I hope I won't be bad, or I won't be irrational to other human beings due to my fasting procedure. I'll try as much as I can to be nice to them, because I know how lack of food can impair our judgment. Also, I go to the gym several times in a week, and I know gym burns a lot of calories. So I'm thinking of maybe skipping this week, or if I go to the gym, I'll try as much as I can not to burn a lot of calories, because I'll suffer a lot as a consequence. So yeah. Hey guys, well, I barely recorded this video because I can barely stand or understand how I feel. I feel like I'm crumbling on the inside. I thought I was going to be somehow humorous with this situation, but I think that my cognitive functions aren't really functioning. But hey, I managed to get over through the day. It's hard. It's extremely hard, especially when you live in the city and you pass by some street foods and you hear you smell the smell of tantalizing food. I could barely discipline myself to not eat. But hey, I made it. Well, today was a lot. I don't know what to say, man. I'm very hungry, man. Well, at least one of the things that I learned today was to appreciate food. It is pretty clear to me that the more you have something, the more you are likely to take it for granted. So something like food, we take it for granted most of the time, and we don't know what it feels like to lack food. Well, for your information, this is I would call this the third day, but since I started recording yesterday, this brings us to the second day. But the last time I had a meal was on Saturday at lunch, and it's on a Monday. Well, I had some deep conversations today with two men. There is something that I was curious about, and perhaps I'll make a video of it in the future. But I guess it drained me a lot because I was trying to bring my A game in asking the questions. So I used a lot of energy, and the brain uses a lot of energy, especially when you are using it compared to when you are just on autopilot. But yeah, I managed. I didn't mention this yesterday, but I'm only allowed water. So yeah, at least there is that. I can drink water. Yeah, I feel like sleeping, dude, so that we can see how the tomorrow will be. I don't know if I'm going to pull off the 7 days. It's a lot of days, especially realizing that I'm on the second day and I was totally not prepared for this. I'm trying to maintain my composure here because I feel like screaming, and although screaming would require a lot of energy, I would definitely faint after screaming. Well, if I don't make it to 7 days, well, bear in mind that the longest I have ever done is maybe skipping 2 meals. Perhaps I think, but intentionally I haven't fasted intentionally since I was a kid. There was this time we decided to fast with my cousins at my grandmother's place, and yeah, we only lasted for 4 hours. For your information, my grandmother told us, "Well, you are kids, and God will see the effort you have put." Those 4 hours, like exactly the hours that take from having breakfast to lunch. So yeah, I'm just definitely going to sleep after this. I can even barely stand. See you tomorrow, man. I cannot believe I'm still alive. It's the morning of the third day, and I feel like nothing someone would say right now would be funny. In every stretch of the imagination, nothing would appear funny to me. I feel a kind of hollowness in my stomach. I barely slept. That was one of the worst sleeps I have ever had because I would wake up at certain intervals in the night. That's horrible. I like my sleep to be continuous. I tried to read a book yesterday. I could see that the author was trying to communicate an important point or points, but they couldn't register in my mind because, of course, I was hungry. I hope this day won't be completely hideous. That will be hard. That I'm sure of. I feel weak, very weak. So I'll try not to faint or pass out in the course of the day. See you during the evening after job. Hey guys, I think I can't do this anymore. Well, first of all, I didn't sleep well last night because of the hunger. So it's hard, it's very hard to do. But at the same time, I feel like it has been a perspective changing experience. It has somehow informed my worldview, especially in terms of working. This marks the 3.5 days after I had the thought of executing this idea. And I don't think I have the capability of articulating the effects of the that have been done to me through this experience because I'm very hungry and it's hard to think when you're hungry. So this has been a world record in my world. I have never done anything like this. It was out of curiosity. A lot of it was out of curiosity. And yeah, I didn't know I would go this far. I thought I was going to quit yesterday because the hunger was too much to bear. But hey, I'm here. 3.5 days. It's not an easy route. The first thing I have learned while going through this experience is I don't know if I had mentioned this earlier, but you learn to prioritize the important things. Food is a basic need for humans. It is a necessity for our survival. And through maybe interactions with human beings and thoughts and anything that we engage in as human beings, I think fasting has made me be able to separate the wheat from the chaff. Even in a conversation, I will only pay attention to the valuable thing in the conversation itself, whether it's me who am saying it and whether it's the other person who is saying it. I would ignore the irrelevant information. This is how I think it affected me, especially in trying to be less of a people pleaser because sometimes I can people please, but through this experience, I guess I'll try to be more or less of a people pleaser because it is good for my mental peace and I guess for everyone in the society. No one wants a people pleaser around them. Well, unless you are a narcissist. Don't take my word for it. That is just something that has come out of a guy who has been fasting for the last 3 days. I'm not saying it's a universal truth. That's just a speculation I have done. Well, I have also found that I'm enjoying more mind wandering, being comfortable with sitting down and just thinking about stuff, observing human beings as they are on their day to day activities, and how that whole experience is important because mind wandering is where ideas come in your mind. And I guess I was concentrating on staying alive most of the time. That's why even social media, I wasn't very active on social media. I like viewing videos on YouTube, but I didn't find myself watching a lot of videos. I tried to watch a movie, nothing. They weren't as interesting. So this made me realize that these things are not that important. We should not center our lives around them. I'm so hungry, man. I can't even articulate what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying stuff. Before I even spoke to people while having conversations, is this even helpful? I don't know. Maybe for someone, maybe to people. I'd think before speaking because I was trying to preserve my energy. Well, I needed to stay alive. I would think before I speak because I was focused more on saving my energy. So I would think through what I was trying to say, and I would figure out, is this something that I wanted to say important to me and to the other person that I'm talking to? Is that phrase of any importance to any of us? And if the answer was no, I would just keep quiet and try to find more phrases to say. And if the answer is yes, well, I'll try to find the right words to express that idea in my mind. So I became more comfortable with not trying to fill any silent cues in a conversation with garbage. I would just think through before I said something. Because I'm not going to do this, this is my last day because it has been hard, very hard, especially for someone who is an amateur in this kind of monastic life of existence. I'm going to find something to eat. I can't even cook today. That would be disastrous. I would faint from the aroma coming out from the food. Or I would eat the food raw. So maybe I'll take. Are they called takeouts? I don't know. But I'll try to find a balanced diet because I have been hungry, man. Those those were not easy times, tough times. So I don't know if I'm going to say anything here after I eat. I hope the things that I have internalized through this experience, there's a lot of things I haven't said, but I guess they are being locked out because of my lack of access to my main frame of the brain because I'm hungry. But I hope these things can be internalized. And I hope if you have gone through this experience, you can tell me down in the comments below what your experience had been and what did you learn. Like, what what difference lays in my experience and your experience, and I hope you get the point. I was saying I hope I will internalize the lessons that I have learned. For example, like the next time I meet a homeless person who is hungry, try I will be more empathetic, I think, to their situation because I don't think they have an easy time. Staying hungry, man, is not easy. Lack of food might be one of the hardest thing to go through as a human being, especially when you don't have an option. You are just like you have no idea where you get your next meal. That must be very hard. I look forward to doing this in the future again, perhaps more days, because I think if I had gone more days, I would have maybe learned a new thing. I would have suffered more. I think it's important to suffer now and then so that you can realize your priorities and understand what matters in this world. So maybe I'll do maybe 5 days or go through to 7 days. But it has been fun. Subscribe.